The solar system is undergoing a relatively beautiful peace as the hub near Jupiter is being built, still in construction. It takes time, you know. The Earth Alliance has moved in, and we are seeing agreements, commercial agreements, beginning to be passed in this star system. The Jupiter agreements in July 2021 had prepared this future, what will happen after the war in our star system. There is no more Draco reptilians on Earth, there are no more Greys on Earth, neither in this star system. And we will see in a minute how this goes for them in the galaxy. But let us stay for a while in the solar system. What is going on there? Well, from my contact Jenan Heredion, who is a terraformer on Mars, working with a colony of Alpha Centaurians, I got to have this information. The operations of terraforming, in order to restitute the planet to their legitimate inhabitants, the TERRA, is going really good, really well. Microorganisms are being developed, the ancient, fossilized, original, endemic microorganisms that are able to regrow natural environment with the trees, the vegetation, and the food supply that before TERRA, or Mars, was enjoying at its natural state. The TERRA, who they are ancient colonies from different star systems and galaxies, and you have two main strands, the reptilian TERRA, who call themselves the TERRA, and you have all the insectoid species whose names are not pronounceable, so we usually put them under the name TERRA insectoids. Mars is changing, and soon we will be able to live in biodomes there, people from Earth. Elon Musk is in charge to make the bridge, to bridge the actual knowledge of how things are to the real reality, which is not the future, which is the present already. There are people on Mars, there are colonies, and people working and living there already. Only good people now. Aries Prime has been rehabilitated and now in the hands of the TERRA, going to work in cooperation with the Earth Alliance, who is acting as a guide and soon building the Mars Alliance, or the TERRA Alliance is still in the making. The operations of terraforming, especially the team Jenan is working with, has made a discovery, major discovery. There are different ruins of these ancient times on Mars, but then a pyramid, the biggest pyramid that hasn't even found on Mars, has been found by Jenan's team, clearing a valley with deep sand deposits, and the pyramid was down in this valley. It's very typical to build these pyramids in valleys because they were power generators and they could power entire valleys, entire settlement. Why build in valleys? It's always where settlements and cities develop first, because you have a river, it's sheltered from the winds, etc., etc. So you can grow better stuff to it. This major pyramid is very ancient, and the TERRA said that it was ancient, so ancient that they couldn't really tell who built them, this particular pyramid. So Jenan asked me to ask someone who we have the honor to have in his star system, Prince Ea of the Anar Empire, and Prince Ea told Jenan that he will send his own scientists there, historians, from the Nibiru ship. And they came back saying that indeed this ancient pyramid was built from the time when Mars was thriving with a tropical climate And these people who built the pyramids were the Tiru, in coordination with ancient colonies that may have been Anak at the time. The archaeologists from Ia's ship really recognized Anak technology. So I asked, Ia, tell me more about this. The Anachim on Mars? When? How? Yes. When the Nibiru came into the star system, the Kashkal, the expedition, 320,000 years ago, they not only put an outpost on Ki, which was the main focus of the expedition, but also different outposts in the star system, of course. And Mars was one outpost. Mars was already inhabited by the Tiru, who were there for millions of years. The real Martians. The Tiru have a very specific history. They don't come from here. The Tiru, the reptilians, are originally what we have come to call on Earth the Naga. They came hundreds of million years in this star system. They were the first to find it. There wasn't a lot of life, evolved life on the planet Earth at the time. Life striving, but not as developed as creating cultures and intelligent groups. They settled there, and as we know the story, the intergalactic confederation kicked them out. So those who left joined their outpost on Mars. That's why there's a lot of Martian reptilians there. They are the ancient Naga. There is also what you would call the Sasquatch or Chewbacca people. Read Encyclopedia Galactica Volume 1 and you know where they're coming from. There were all sorts of population on Tyr. It was very crowded and beautiful people living in communities of peace. It was a beautiful world. When the Orion Wars blasted 300,000 years ago, regarding Earth linear time, more or less. Right after that, Sol was attacked by the Nebu, and with their powerful allies, the Mithra from Megape or Andromeda Galaxy. They wanted to conquer Sol. The Nebu were there with the Mithra, and there was a big, huge war where the Anachim were involved to try to secure Sol. Because the Anachim had kind of planted the flag of the Anach Empire in the Sol system, but the Nebu wanted to take it. So there was this war that destroyed the fifth planet Maldek, and that's how things got weird, because the Sasquatch type moved from Mars to Earth, exiled, fled to Earth. The ant people, which are insectoid humanoids that are still a colony on Mars, also fled to Earth. A lot of survivants just fled to Earth when Maldek exploded. Even before they saw that coming from the war, they all migrated. The populations with, the kids and everything, they all migrated to Earth. That was the closest inhabitable planet. And there was a lot going on there. Anyways, the pyramid, newly found, lasts from that time. When on October 3rd, 2025, I was invited by Prince Ia to go for a trip to Mars, pick up Janhan Eredion and visit 3i Atlas, ancient explorer that was passing by Mars. When I approached Mars, I described in my videos and articles how Mars is not the red, dusty planet as we are shown by NASA. It is actually filled with patches of green and blue. It's incredible, the colors. Well, that was October 3rd. Last week, on January 4, the European Space Agency published an article that revealed for the first time the real true colors of Mars, and there are a lot of blue and green and etc. So it was a 30th corroboration added to my list of corroboration. On Dan Willis' website, you can read all of it at this link below. If you go on my website, you click on evidence and it's there. Let us now see what is going on in the galaxy. In Nataru, the war against the Seeker, although has officially stopped, come to an end. Rogue contingents of Seeker still roam the galaxy. Very, very little. We can say that the menace has been eradicated, although there's still some here and there. You know, it's going to take time, but it's pretty much there. The Dark Fleet in our local region of the galaxy, centered around Aldebaran, has also continued to act on its own, trying to figure out what allegiance they could make, an alliance they could make to continue their business of trading slaves and weapons, but unfortunately nobody wants to trade with them anymore, so they are now hustling the Galactic Guild of Merchants, which has also ethics and strict rules. So the Dark Fleet situation is not yet eased and settled. We will see how time goes, and I will update you on this, but it is anyways not a menace anymore for our star system. The Intergalactic Confederation, the group of the Seeders, the 24 scientific cultures involved in the genetic development of the planet Earth, are still around in this star system. A few ships at different locations in the star system, and the whole armada is now after the plasma shield in the outer region of our star system, protecting any intrusions. The Intergalactic Confederation wanted me to remind you that all their starseeds and their envoys are invited to activate their psychic abilities. It is not about communicating with other entities. It is about, as they are asking you, commune with you, who you are. Find your frequency again. Embrace who you are. Remember where you come from. Because when the fleet, the armada of 500 motherships of the Intergalactic Confederation entered into our star system in October 2021, the formidable frequency that they radiated, the pulse, activated like a wave that brushed through all the star system, all the envoys and all the technologies they had left in that star system, aka the space arcs. The space arcs are already been activated in that brushing wave, brushing signal in 2021, in October. And now they have kept on pulsing, helping humanity raise the frequency of this planet. That is why they are pulsing, to help Earth make easily this shift into the 5th density zone of this galaxy, which involves a transfer of consciousness into our higher version, vibration of ourselves. In a word, an awakening. All the starseeds from the Intergalactic Confederation on Earth and other places in the star system have felt this whistling pulse, wave, frequency in 2021. You know who you are. you have been activated already. It is a good occasion to remind you that nobody is meant to activate someone else. It is not how the process works. Also for the space arcs, they have been all activated in 2021, and I want to precise something. This is not important. The space arcs are not important. They are just ancient technology left there that one day humanity will access to. The important is not this distraction. The important is you. How you are embracing this awakening. You will recognize yourselves. May you be of one of the 24 cultures involved in the genetics of the human beings on Earth. I am inviting you to come to Pétos, France, in the beautiful area of Vendée, the 9th and the 10th of May 2026, to a conference where very famous French contactees and scientists will be here. And I will have the opportunity to give a talk by remotely, because I will be on my way to Sweden. I invite you to come here, so you will see the link on my webpage, International Speaker. Shortly after, I will be in Stockholm, Sweden, on May 23rd and 24th for an extraordinary conference organized by GDX, Galactic Discovery Exchange. And there will be Alex Collier talking remotely with Dan Willis, scientist from America, Sweden, and Italy. Armando May will be there, talking about the ancient discoveries under Giza. So don't miss this.